we were looking at a liquidity trap where we discussed what implications the liquidity trap has for LM curve. Then we looked at monetary policy for an economy in a liquidity trap. Now we want to look at fiscal policy for an economy in liquidity trap. We know if the economy is in a liquidity trap, that is in an equilibrium with I is equal to 0, I the nominal interest rate equal to 0, then we know the intersection between the IS and LM curve will occur somewhere along the horizontal portion of LM curve. So in this case, we're assuming the economy is initially in liquidity trap. So the intersection between the IS and the LM curve, in this case, which is OX LM1, is occurring somewhere along the horizontal portion, such as point A in the figure. That's what we're assuming our initial equilibrium is, where output is YA, and as we can see, the nominal interest rate is 0. Now, an expansionary fiscal policy would cause IS curve to shift to the right, as we can see from IS to IS prime. The new equilibrium will occur at the intersection of the new IS curve, IS prime, and the unchanged LM curve, OX LM1, and that's happening at point A prime in the figure. Now, at point A prime, we can see the economy is still in liquidity trap, where the interest rate is still, where the nominal interest rate is still 0, IA prime is still 0. But we can see that there has been an increase in equilibrium output, where output increases by the full amount of horizontal shift of IS curve. So why is that now? Because we know when the economy is not in a liquidity trap and we're in the along the upward sloping portion of the LM curve. So in that case, we know okay, when we implement an expansionary fiscal policy that causes output to increase, which increases money demand, that puts a pressure on interest rate to increase, which reduces investment, and thus that limits the total effect on output. And output increases by less than the horizontal size of shift of the LM curve. Horizontal output increases by less than the size of horizontal shift of the IS curve. In this case, output increases by the full amount. The IS curve shifts to the right. This is because we can see when we implement expansionary fiscal policy, there is no change in interest rate. The nominal interest rate stays at 0. And because interest rate does not change, so investment does not decrease. And as a result, there is no dampening effect on output. So there is no crowding out in this case. When the economy is operating in the liquidity trap, implemented an expansionary fiscal policy. So we can see as a result of this, our output increases by the full amount of the size of horizontal shift of IS curve. Because in this case, there will be no crowding out, as there's no change in the interest rate, it stays at 0, and thus no investment is decreased, and thus there's no adverse effect on output.